All right, Drake Toll, week 1 of Big 12 action is in the books. As someone who does cover this conference in totality, what were your biggest takeaways?
Good. Oh my gosh, we were good. I love it. And look, some of you sucked. You can't sugarcoat it. Houston UNLV really stunk. The crowd's not great. You get beat 27-7. Your doors are blown off, and Donovan Smith didn't look very good. And then I turn over to West Virginia and Penn State and go, this, after the couple bright spots offensively that I got from West Virginia early, they say, you know what? We're good. We're going to kind of bow out on this one. And it was sloppy. They looked unprepared based on where Neil Brown had his team. A fumble here, fumble there. Play calling felt lackadaisical. Go for it on 4th down and just couldn't push anything through. And then the most disappointing team in the Big 12 this weekend, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And there's not what I love about it, I know I said good. I'm starting with the bad. There is not a single Texas Tech fan that I've had in the comments section or on Twitter anywhere is going, oh, come on, man, it's week 1. Give us a chance. Nope. They all agree that stunk really, really hard, beating Abilene. I keep wanting to say Arizona Christian. Abilene Christian, because of that, they're that irrelevant. Abilene Christian 52-51, a missed 2-point conversion in overtime that made the difference against an FCS school that's not as good as Wyoming or Southern Illinois or even Tarleton State or certainly as SUU. That's bad. Now, the rest of us not only took care of business, but some teams look doubly impressive doing it. Oklahoma State, TCU going on the road against Stanford and winning the game. That's all I can ask. Just go win the game. Some teams didn't do that. Arizona and offense, elite. Iowa State's defense. Baylor impressed more than I expected them to. BYU, whether you want to hear it or not, 41-13 was stunning. I had SIU covering all day long in this game, and they dominated, and Jake Retzlaff looked good. Then Arizona State beats the brakes off of Wyoming, and Utah takes care of Southern Utah, and Kansas beats the brakes off Lindenwood, and UCF wins 57-3, and even Colorado beats North Dakota State. That's a good weekend for the Big 12. I saw a different Big 12 media pundit post, the Big 12's big missed opportunity in week 1. I don't give a crap. There were no missed opportunities. I love that the conference goes 14-2 and gets 14 pretty confident wins.
Wait, okay. Are you no missed opportunity even though the Penn State loss?
I don't even care at this point.
Okay.
I freaking love it irks the crap out of me because I love West Virginia. I love their makeup. And the second I trust Neil Brown, he says, sorry, here's a fumble and another one and an offsides and a false start. And I really love West Virginia, man. And they were so disappointing. Yeah. And the game was funky, and James Franklin was more prepared. And at this point, there are 9 other contenders that until West Virginia proves once again we can contend, 9 other contenders to look at and be proud of.
That's fair. The only thing I will say about West Virginia is it's actually more so about Penn State. That team's really only lost to Ohio State and Michigan the last few years. I just think at the end of the season, that will not be a bad loss, even though, yes, it still sucks to lose at home. I just think Penn State's a really good program.
You lost to 10-2 Penn State. That's that.
Yeah, I know. Last thing before we get out of here, we got the time. And I know people are just going to be mad at me if I don't ask you about it. But Rice-Eccles Stadium versus, you know what I'm going to say, LaVell Edwards Stadium. Give me your thoughts on the atmosphere and experience and explain some of the tweets and comments that have our good old Utah fans a little fired up.
Utah fans, I don't hate you. I don't like BYU more than Utah. I get paid equally to like all 16 teams.
True.
Rice-Eccles Stadium on Thursday was far worse than where I've seen BYU and LaVell Edwards Stadium against Baylor, against a top 15 team, and against Cincinnati last year in a Friday night funky conference game, which the atmosphere was great. That is not an indictment in totality on Rice-Eccles Stadium. That's an indictment on Thursday night. I come from a school in Baylor that when Baylor's top 15, that's a little rare. Utah at this point has seen it, but brother, You've got a chance to win the Big 12. Show up for your school, be there when the ball kicks off, and yell a little bit. That's what I'm asking. BYU is going to bring it every game. There are intricacies for the reason why. And part of that is the absolute love from many of the LDS members for what BYU is. Saturday is their chance to let loose, go crazy, and represent an entire faith on that scale with an institution that is the flagship of that faith. For Utah, it's a mixture, a fan base that comes together with a mixture of people from this state who care so deeply. And on Thursday night, I didn't get that. Now, look, does that mean on Saturday against Baylor that Utah's going to have a bad atmosphere? No. I can guarantee you it'll be spectacular. But, and I don't think you can disagree with this, Utah, from a facility standpoint, is still operating with what feels like more of a mid-level, low-level Pac-12 stadium or a high-level Mountain West stadium. Give me an upper bowl. Give me an opportunity to hear about, like, the sound escapes straight up. Give me an opportunity for Utah fans who are an elite fan base, who have an elite stadium, to showcase that they are that. I know you are. I know there are 90% of Utah fans are normal and cool and good. Give your fan base an opportunity to showcase that. And during a big game against Baylor, I guarantee you they do it.
I think I agree with, I do agree with almost everything you said. I think the only thing I'll say is, like, more so your thoughts on it not being allowed, like, because of the stadium construction, things of that nature. When it's a big game, I don't think that would be your same concern. I think it would be incredibly loud. Just like, ask Graham Mertz last year. I mean, Graham Mertz is going through it right now, so maybe don't ask him right now about it. Maybe ask him about that.
He has other issues. Yeah.
Yeah. But look, what everything you have talked about is relating to Thursday night versus Saturday night. Yeah, number one, also what you mentioned, BYU had more fans in the stands, and you were there. I
always will, that's because one stadium's bigger. Yeah.
Because of the capacity. And I wasn't there Thursday, but I've been to enough Utah games to know this. They say the sellout, and you're kind of looking around at the start like this is not a sellout, and that's because people do show up late and they begin to pack in, especially when. Once again, what's the feeling? It's like, we've been a top 15. This is an FCS opponent. That sentiment absolutely existed versus, look, this is a BYU team that's going to be fighting to get bowl eligible. That's a reality of the situation. So every win in every game is even more important. Utah, like, bowl eligibility isn't even a question for what's on the table for them this year too. So I have no doubt in my mind that BYU was, of the two, the better atmosphere because of the opponent, because of what that win, the first one, will mean like that too. And I expect that especially the game against, like, the Baylor one, because this is the first Saturday, the Arizona game that'll be coming up soon, that's when it'll really be rocking. But I know a lot of people gave you crap for your statements, but I agree. I feel like what you said has been completely justified.
And Utah, don't use it as an excuse. When Auburn plays an FCS school in the opening game, they get up. Arkansas, the same way. Their SEC, become an SEC-like atmosphere, no matter the opponent, no matter the game. College football is back. Get your butt in your seat when the ball kicks off.
Hey, Kyle Whittingham will be playing that clip in front of the team. Maybe that and a few other things you said about Utah in the past, right?
Maybe. Sorry, guys.
Oh, Drake, you're the best. Always appreciate you taking the time. Tell everyone what they can expect on Locked On Big 12 this week.
Yeah, you got the power rankings coming out this week. It's a Monday episode. Tuesday, we're talking all things Utah Utes. Wednesday, the rest of the week recap, both last week and preview this week, and at LO Big 12 on Twitter, and Locked On Big 12 wherever you find your podcast, plus YouTube.
Appreciate you taking the time to check out Utah, both for Utah and BYU's perspective, and always stopping by with me. Drake, thank you again. That is going to do it for today's edition of Locked On Utes and Locked On Big 12 as well. Appreciate all of you for stopping by, and we'll be back with you soon talking more about the conference we all hold near and dear to our